Chapter 5. The threats escalate.
As Sarah and Lisa pressed forward with their investigation, the threats against Sarah intensified. Her car was vandalized with a threatening message: "Stop or face the consequences." The message was a chilling reminder of the danger she faced. Sarah's home was broken into, and valuable items were stolen, further escalating the tension and making her feel increasingly vulnerable. The threats were not mere warnings, but attempts to intimidate Sarah and halt her progress. The private security firm she hired provided some protection, but Sarah's sense of danger was ever present. The stakes were high, and the risk of personal harm was a constant concern. Sarah knew that the threats were designed to derail her investigation and make her reconsider her pursuit of the truth. Despite the increased security, Sarah remained determined. She continued to follow leads, conduct undercover surveillance, and piece together the evidence. Her resolve was unwavering, driven by a commitment to uncovering the corruption and bringing those responsible to justice. The escalating threats only strengthened her determination to see the case through to the end. Sarah's personal safety was compromised, but her professional focus remained sharp. She navigated the dangers with caution, knowing that the path to justice was fraught with risks. The investigation had become a high-stakes game, with each step bringing her closer to exposing the corrupt network and ensuring that the truth would prevail.
Chapter 6. The Cabal Unveiled.
Sarah's investigation led her to a secluded cabin in the woods, an unassuming structure that concealed critical evidence. The cabin, equipped with surveillance equipment and Eleanor's personal belongings, provided a chilling insight into the extent of the conspiracy. The cabin's setup indicated that Eleanor had been closely monitored, and her abduction was part of a calculated plan to silence her. Inside the cabin, Sarah discovered detailed plans for exposing the corruption network. The evidence confirmed her suspicions about Richard Latham's involvement and revealed the depth of the cabal's deceit. The surveillance equipment had captured footage of Richard's visits to the cabin, providing irrefutable evidence of his participation in the scheme. A tense confrontation occurred when Sarah encountered one of Richard's henchmen at the cabin. The encounter was fraught with danger, and Sarah narrowly escaped with crucial evidence. The confrontation highlighted the risks involved in her investigation and underscored the lengths to which the cabal would go to protect their secrets. The cabin's discovery was a turning point in the investigation. It provided the final pieces of the puzzle and confirmed the extent of the corruption network. Sarah's efforts to expose the cabal were now supported by concrete evidence, and she prepared for the next phase of the investigation, bringing the criminals to justice.
Chapter 7. Unmasking the Conspirators.
With the evidence from the cabin, Sarah began to unravel the conspiracy. She identified Mayor Gregory Stone as a key figure in the cabal, orchestrating the corruption and manipulating other officials. The financial records and covert meetings uncovered during the investigation revealed Stone's central role in the scheme. Sarah's findings led to a dramatic town hall meeting where she presented the evidence to the public. The revelation of the corruption scandal sent shockwaves through Briarwood. The evidence against Richard Latham, Mayor Stone, and other officials was overwhelming. The public's reaction ranged from disbelief to outrage, and the call for justice grew louder. The arrest of the corrupt officials marked a significant victory for Sarah and her allies. The town began to recover from the scandal, and reforms were implemented to address the issues exposed by the investigation. Eleanor's charity work was revitalized, and the community rallied to support her efforts to rebuild trust and restore integrity. Sarah took time to reflect on the case and the challenges she had faced. Her investigation had exposed deep-seated corruption and brought justice to those affected. The experience had been both rewarding and daunting, and Sarah's sense of accomplishment was tempered by the realization of the dangers she had encountered.
Chapter 8. The Final Confrontation.
The climax of Sarah's investigation involved a high-stakes operation to apprehend the remaining members of the cabal. Sarah coordinated with local law enforcement and federal agents to execute a series of raids. The operation was meticulously planned, with each raid targeting key figures in the conspiracy. The raids were tense and fraught with risk. Sarah and her team navigated dangerous situations, working to secure the evidence and arrest the conspirators. The operation's success was a testament to the thoroughness of Sarah's investigation and the effectiveness of her coordination with law enforcement. Eleanor was rescued from the cabin where she had been held captive. The operation was carefully planned to ensure her safety and secure the final pieces of evidence needed to bring the criminals to justice. Eleanor's testimony provided the final confirmation of the details of the conspiracy, and her recovery marked a significant milestone in the case. The arrests and the recovery of evidence were a triumph for Sarah and her allies. The operation had dismantled the corrupt network and brought closure to the investigation. The town of Briarwood could begin to heal from the scandal, and Sarah's role in uncovering the truth was recognized and celebrated.
Chapter 9. Aftermath and Reflection.
In the aftermath of the scandal, Briarwood began to rebuild. The town's leadership underwent significant changes, and efforts were made to restore public trust. The reforms implemented as a result of the investigation aimed to prevent future corruption and ensure greater transparency in local governance. Sarah took time to reflect on the case and her role in bringing justice. The investigation had been challenging, and the threats she faced had been real. Yet, her determination and collaboration with trusted allies had led to a successful resolution. Sarah's professional growth and personal resilience were evident, and she felt a deep sense of accomplishment. As Briarwood moved forward, Sarah received a mysterious phone call. The caller's cryptic message hinted at another unresolved case, reigniting Sarah's sense of adventure. The shadows of deception had receded, but Sarah's journey was far from over. She prepared for her next challenge, eager to uncover new mysteries and confront the complexities that awaited her.